Look at all of this. Oh my God, it's full of copper tubing in here. Oh, Jeff. Jeff, look at this.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. That's probably $20 worth of copper right there. Oh, welcome to the Polly the Wog channel. We are back out picking up scrap metal items like these off the curbs. And by the end of this video, I'm going to let you know exactly how much our load of scrap weighs, what our current price is at the scrapyard, and exactly how much we get paid for our load of scrap. So yeah, let's carry on. See if we can find some more junk. A nice pink chair. Well, we normally don't do office chairs, but this is more metal than anything. The pink plastic part doesn't weigh very much at all. So yeah, we're gonna take that, turn it around though. Oh, even better, I guess. Didn't realize that was just gonna lift off of there. And you know what? I think this is gonna pop out. It is. Look at that. Well, for future reference, you can just leave that behind. Oh, and there's a teeny little bit of scrap over here. It's not very good scrap, but since we're here, I guess we'll take it. Yeah, those are metal. Just want to see if I can break this up a little more. Oh, not really. I'll probably pull it apart. But for now, let's just toss it in there. Good enough. All right, carrying on. Ta-da! Glorious water heater on the curb. Some nice steel bits. Little bits of copper and brass. I thought the black parts were metal. Yeah, you can see the rust on it. Yeah, it's just the plastic joints. I don't know if you want to try to roll this up or just tip it.
I just want to lay it on its side. Just like that.
And you push and I'll kind of lift. There we go. Let me get out of there. Good enough for now?
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a good find. So good of a find, you might want to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe you would consider doing that as well, because I would really appreciate it. Now let's see what other scrap we can find. G'day. You okay if we recycle your metal?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And definitely gonna have to break these down, I think, at some point, but probably not right now. Put that in there to give it a little more weight. Alrighty, carrying on. Look at this nice piece of wrought iron railing. Oh, nice and heavy. Oh, I'm gonna go right down the side of the trailer and make us a little sidewall. Yep, that works. Now where to put the table? That's the question. Yeah, I think we're gonna need a strap. Yes. Yes, we're gonna need a strap. And see, you want to come apart. Smush. Yeah, I was gonna come get you and tell you that we were gonna need a strap, but figured I'd start working on rearranging some of this.
Well, I figured you need a strap, and you don't seem to like to put one, so.
I just hadn't gotten that far yet. There we go.
Right over that.
Sure. All right, well, that's a little bit better. I'm gonna let him finish getting this strapped in. We'll see what we find next. You just never know. More beautiful scrappy goodness on the curb. I love it. This is much more fun than being yelled at when I go dumpster diving. That wasn't very much fun at all. Nope, not gonna fit there. Definitely some nice weight to that. And a fan with a cord to boot. Normally I'd break that plastic off the bottom, but since there's, oh well, it fell off. But I think we're gonna take it, because why just leave one little piece of garbage there? Grab the cord, yoink. There we go. Is this open? Nope, not yet. Come on, keys. There we go. A nice empty container. Perfect. All right, carrying on. Well, I think we just found the most beautiful scrap pile of the day. Look at all of this. Oh my God, it's full of copper tubing in here. Oh, Jeff. Jeff, look at this.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. That's probably $20 worth of copper right there.
It's going right in the back.
Unbelievable.
You're gonna have to,
We'll throw this A-frame back there too.
yeah, I don't have the back door open.
I got this side one unlocked.
Jesus, I'm glad we got this stuff.
Oh yeah, you don't find that on the curb every day, folks.
Not even close.
Big huge piles of copper, an A-frame coil, another central air unit, and a big box of tin. Yeah, just drag it from the front here. This will all slide up more. Should. It's a little piece of scrap that's snagged on it. And it slid up a little more. Oh, another $5 worth of copper for you. Oops.
This is the best stop ever.
Happy birthday.
Oh, gee.
Even more. Well,
I guess it was a good idea to go scrapping today.
that was fantastic. If you didn't give us a thumbs up on the hot water heater, you got to give us a thumbs up for the central air unit and all that copper. That was fantastic. Incredible. All right, let's see what kind of great scrap we might find next. Well, you know I'm going to take the cord. I think that's all of it. Just a shorty for a vacuum. All right, see what's next. Well, you know, every time I go scrapping, I always run into my fans. Needs a weighted base. Well, at the scrapyard it doesn't. Come on, cord. Yep, I think that'll be all right. Another cord. All right, onward. I found ourselves a little table frame with no glass, which is always perfect. Yeah, don't think that is a very good spot. Seems a little better, but I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Yeah, I think that'll be all right for cruising through the neighborhood. We'll add a strap to it if we have to. Metal. Some sort of room divider. So let's use our little magnet here. Yeah, that main part we don't really want. I don't think so. Well, we can take these little bits. And yeah, I don't think there's enough metal on the rest of that. No, don't think so. I just realized that that piece is plastic, so there was only one piece of metal there. Oh well. A little teeny piece is better than nothing at all. Alright, carrying on. Oh, we got a broken chair on the curb. I guess the other one on the front lawn still in working condition. This one got a big split. That should be all right. All right, let's see what's next. Looks like a dehumidifier. Wonder if that's all copper. Looks like it's aluminum. Dump this right on top of the box. Yank the cord off of here. That's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, it looks like a big aluminum coil on the inside. Yeah, non-sticky. Probably going to go right to the shred pile. There we go. Carrying on. Well, you know we love finding barbecues on the curb. This needs to be strapped in, but I'm guessing somewhere on top of this is probably the best bet. Try to put the shell at the back here with the legs leaning up onto this table.
Why wouldn't we try and put it upside down in the table?
We could do that too, because the table needs to be strapped anyways, so
Yeah.
just pull out whatever's on the inside. Nothing.
Already done.
Yeah. And let me just grab the regulator before we do that. Get rid of this.
Yeah, let's just try and
Just flip it up into here.
lift it up and right.
Yeah, knew all that. Dump over there. Yep, that's good. It's hooked under.
All the propane tanks they've got.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is hooked under the table, which is kind of good. So yeah, just put a strap right through the middle in here.
Oh, I can probably just.
Yeah, redo that one.
That one's
Loose anyways. Yep. Just peeking through there. Yeah, not so bad. Obviously, that's coming off of our load when we get home. And the copper and the A-frame coil that we found that's in the back of the truck, we're gonna keep all that. That should be obvious. There we go. Alrighty. Get that strapped in. Just keep spending down and down.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put another strap on it.
Yeah, at the front side. All right, I'm gonna let him grab that second strap. We're gonna add that on there and see if we can find a little bit more before we're done. Yeah, a nice little metal chair. See if I can find a spot here. Yeah, that's hooked on there really well. Until it does that. Oh, there we go. That seems better. Wish I could get that on the inside, but yeah, it just doesn't want to fit that way. No. Seems to fit better like that. Alright, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Should be good. If it falls off, we'll know I was wrong. There's a nice looking pet cage. Is it alright if we recycle your metal?
It does fold up, eh?
That's even better. Perfect. Doo-doo-doo. We got all the wrong angles. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna latch that onto something. Sort of, not really. It's a little better. Thank you. Well.
Yeah, look how loose those straps are.
Oh yeah. It all just shook around as it jiggled. Well, we found this nice little swing bench. We're just getting ready to head back home and spotted this at the last second.
Well, if you're going to throw it in, see if we can.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it in here with the back going down the side.
Yeah, we'll just put it right over top of that strap, then I'll.
Oops, didn't quite get the back over. I figured that would work. Now this piece is going to want to swing.
Well,
There are little hooks on there, but not anything too secure. And if that little hook stays there, it'll stay hooked, but as it bounces, it might come unhooked.
well, I'm gonna
Yeah, driving down the road with all the jiggling definitely loosened all this up. Well, that's not a very bad load of scrap.
I think we're good. Should be good to get us home anyway. That ain't coming off anyway.
No, I thought it was on there all right. Alrighty, we'll see if we find anything between here and home. Alright, so we're back at home and that is the entirety of our glorious load of scrap. I got my handful of cords here, probably only 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Wasn't a very good night for cords. But did get my one barbecue regulator with a nice little chunk of brass in there, so that's always nice. So my brother's going to take this into the scrapyard in the morning, and I am going to show you that right now.
Well, good morning. Just pulling through the scales at Zubik's. Let's see what last night's load weighs up at. Don't be surprised when I pull away and there's still a few items on the trailer because I'm not selling everything off to Zubik's this morning. We're going to keep that central air unit, possibly a couple other little things, but you'll see that momentarily. Let's see who's going to get through here. Hear this truck. Hit the truck. Couple train cars ready to be demolished. Yeah, you too. that's it for my part today. Take a little view of the crane before we go. Feeding the machine over yonder. Oh, drop it in there. There he goes. It comes out the other end. See it coming off of the conveyor belt over there. Anyway, that's it for today. See ya.
All right, so it turned out that water heater that we had on there, that done us 200 pounds of enamel tin for that. So it might have been that and the glass tabletop, but it was most likely just for the hot water heater, or the water heater, I should say. But anyways, it was 200 pounds of enamel tin, and that was still going at $180 per ton, or 9 cents per pound. So that paid us $18. Not too bad just for a water tank. But anyways, the rest of our load that was on there was 380 pounds of regular tin shred, still going at $200 per ton, or 10 cents per pound. So that paid us $38. So altogether, our load weighed 580 pounds, and we were paid $56. Not too bad, but you have to keep in mind, we kept that big AC condenser unit, plus the A-frame coil, plus the giant pile of copper tubing that we found. So once you process all of that and scrap that out, that's easily going to double our load. That's, you know, easily another $50, $60 worth of scrap right there. So realistically, it was well over $100 worth of scrap that we had on the trailer. We just only, you know, sold the tin shred stuff for now, and we kept the rest of it for processing later. But anyways, here's a little funny story that I wanted to tell you. I went out scrapping last week, and I did the biggest boneheaded move ever. I went out scrapping the entire time, found all kinds of great stuff, recorded a fantastic video, and I got home. I took off my head strap with the GoPro on it, only to realize I had left a rubber lens cover on top of my GoPro lens. So the whole video was wasted. I didn't, you know, I had great audio, but, you know, it was a black screen, right, all the way through it. So I just erased that and forget about it. I'm not going to use that lens cover anymore, to say the least. And we're just going to move on from there. But I did have a fantastic item that I wanted to show you. Right when we were done scrapping, we were actually on our way home, and we got flagged down by a gentleman, and he holds this up, and he's like, hey, do you want this piece of scrap? And it's like, sure, you know. So I hop out and I grab this thing from him, and I'm looking at it, and it's a power line grounding unit. Has the wire cut off of it. There's no wire or cable attached to it. But this is something that would have hung onto a power line, tightened it up, and then this was like the grounding cable or whatever that went with it. So pretty interesting piece of scrap. Never seen anything like that before. Turns out this is all cast aluminum. The shaft that goes through the middle here when you turn this part up, that could be stainless steel. But either way, it's all non-ferrous, weighs about 3.5 pounds. But it had this little piece of copper cable coming out the bottom. So I figured I'm going to try to take this off. Well, there was a bolt on top of here, or a nut, I should say, that I unscrewed from the bolt. But then this bolt was still threaded into this piece of cast aluminum, and I couldn't get it unthreaded. So you can see, I just cut the cast aluminum and popped this out. So I'll give this to my brother. That can go into his aluminum collection. But the rest of this, I'm like, well, I could see a little bit of copper cable here in the bottom. So I figured, I don't know how much is in there, but I'm going to try to cut all of this off. So that's what I managed to do. So I cut off this big, thick, heavy plastic sheathing. Got rid of that. And it left just this orange rubber coating over the little bit of cable on the bottom. Let me see if I can just get that separated off of there. It's all stuck itself back on. Yeah, so it had this orange sheathing left on the bottom on top of this bit. And so I just cut through that, took that off, found all this beautiful stranded copper on the inside. You can see this is all like a paintbrush almost, you know. It's all this stranded type copper in that. So I almost cut the copper off right there thinking, okay, well, at least I got that little bit of copper. But before I did that, I was looking at the rest of this, and after cutting off that casing, I started to cut into some of this, and you can clearly see the copper color there. And even on this bolt, it's copper. I'd never seen anything like that before, but I also don't deal with, you know, high voltage power line type equipment, so I have no idea what to expect. But I noticed that, yeah, this was copper. So you can start to see here, I started filing all of this, and everywhere that I filed on this little piece, you can see the copper color coming through. So I'm going to throw this whole thing into my number 2 copper bucket. This weighs 2 pounds of copper. And as far as I can tell, every piece on there I filed, and everything shows copper. So I think that's kind of showing up on the camera there where you can see all the copper color coming through. Amazing. Never found anything like that before, and I'm sure I'm never going to find anything like that again. But yeah, that's what it came from, was this. Yeah, that was all attached on there, covered in its sheathing and stuff. But yeah, it was some sort of grounding unit for high voltage power lines. Just thought you might want to see that. I found it pretty interesting, so I wanted to save it, put it in the end of a video, and thought maybe you guys would like it too. But anyways, I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I really hope I see you right here in the next one.